Hi guys, I'm back with a new video and let's talk about 2025. So it's the time of the year again where I'm gonna tell you what my favorite films of the year were. As per usual, I have a few disclaimers. One is that I was indeed planning on posting a few more videos, but like December is always like really chaotic for me, so I wasn't able to review more films during the month. Also, because of that, like I didn't watch every single release of the year. So there are a few films that might have been in this top. Some I just didn't get to, others I'm waiting for their release here in Portugal because I always prefer to watch films at the cinema. So films like Die My Love, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, they are all coming out in January, February, before the Oscar season. So those are not included in this list. I don't even know if they would make it, but just letting you know that I didn't watch them because they're not out yet. And yeah, I guess that's basically it. So let's get to my favorite films of 2025. So this list, like I would say, like my top four were pretty easy. All the other ones I just spent way too much time like changing their placement, and like the 10th spot was going to be another film, but I couldn't let this one out of my favorites. So on my 10th spot is Plain Clothes, and I did review that one. I did like a come with me, like a vlog style review. I watched that at the Queer Lisbon Film Festival, and there's just something about it. I'm obviously super biased because I love Tom Blythe, and I actually had in my most anticipated People We Meet on Vacation, but that's only coming out in January. So maybe that's on my most anticipated for 2026 as well. Although I think the film comes out before I post my video, so I don't know. But yeah, I decided to have at least one Tom Blythe film in my most anticipated list, and turns out it's not the one that I wanted to watch the most, that it's on my favorites. Plain Clothes is just a beautiful film. It's equals amount of like, it's hard to watch, but at the same time it's so beautiful and dreamy, and it's one of those films that I just fell in love with the soundtrack. So yeah, I totally recommend it. I think it's a highly underrated film. I know I talked a lot about it on my social media, but I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about this film. So if you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's so beautiful, and Tom Blythe is amazing. On my 9th place is a film that I was not expecting to have on my favorites list. Although as soon as I watched it, like I knew it was going to stay in my top 10. And it's Lilo and Stitch. I don't think I really need to say a lot. It's probably like the best Disney adaptation from the last, I don't know how many years, but it's just a really beautiful adaptation. I grew up with Lilo and Stitch, and yeah, I just fell in love with Stitch again, and I cried, and yeah, it's a really, really beautiful, cute film. My number 8 is one that I feel like it should be higher, but I just can't because all the other films I just either like they just stuck with me more, or I think they are like better films in general. I don't know, but number 8 is Weapons. Weapons is definitely one of the standouts when it comes to horror, and when it comes to films in general, because I'm pretty sure Amy Madigan is going to be nominated for an Oscar, and that's huge for a film that's totally horror. It's, I mean, I wouldn't say it's disturbing, but it's like, because it's a little bit campy as well, but it's a film that's definitely horror. There's nothing adjacent. It's not like an or horror action or horror drama. It could be like a comedy, horror comedy, but it's definitely horror, and that's huge, and it's definitely one of the horror standouts of the year. Number 7 is the only superhero film in my list, and it's Thunderbolts. Like, there's something about Thunderbolts that just stuck with me. I feel like I love all the characters in that team. I love the development of some of those characters that initially I didn't like them, and with this film I became a fan of them. And Bob, obviously Bob maybe made it for me, and yeah, I'm excited to see where this team goes next in the MCU. Number 6 is another horror film. I feel like this list has mainly horror films, which is expected of me, but I usually don't have as many horror films in my top 10, but I feel like I really prioritized horror this year. And we had some like big standouts, and this one is one of them. I was pretty torn between which one I liked the most, if it was Weapons or Bring Her Back. So Bring Her Back is my number 6. I feel like I liked it a bit more just because it's a bit more disturbing. It's definitely just horror, and there's just some like really gruesome moments. It's way more like terrifying than Weapons. Weapons, I feel like it's a film that I would rewatch more often, and Bring Her Back, I feel like I wouldn't rewatch it as many times as Weapons, but I feel like it's a better horror movie and a better film in general. You really like, Weapons has like a mystery, but it's more like of whodunit. You just want to know what's happening, while Bring Her Back just has like a lingering fear. It feels a bit more like Longlegs, where just there's something eerie definitely happening, and you can't really feel it throughout the whole film. So yeah. Now for my top 5. As I said, my top 4 was set in stone. I had this film that's on my 5th place higher, but like my top 4 are all the films that really like come to mind as soon as I think of, like, as soon as you ask me what films I liked this year, those are the ones that I remember right away. Although I really, really, really enjoyed my 5th place, and I'm talking about 20 Years Later. Again, another film that I didn't really think I would like and have in my top of the year, because I really don't like 28 Days Later, and I never saw 28 Weeks Later. So I wasn't really giving much, I didn't have much hope for this one, but I went into it and it blew my mind, because I felt every single like type of emotion during this film. I was scared, I was sad, it was thrilling. So it has all the elements, and it's a really, really good film in terms, like, in general. Just the story is really good, the acting is amazing. Visually, it takes a little bit to get used to the camera movements, but it totally feels the vibe, and once you get used to it, it's a really specific type of cinematography that you just like start to appreciate it. And it has some of the most gruesome kills in all the horror films that I've seen this year. Like, Bring Her Back has one specific scene that's really gruesome and memorable, but like 28 years later has some pretty iconic and some like really gross, disturbing scenes. So yeah, I love that. As I said, my top four was really easy in a way. It was pretty easy because I love all of these films and I know which ones I like the most. So number four is Frankenstein. I knew I would love it. I kind of wanted to love it even more because I only gave it a 4 out of 5. But still, it's a beautiful film. I think my only issue with it is that it's maybe a bit too long. It takes a little bit to get to the meat of the story, but like it's a beautiful film visually, like the sets and the music and the acting. Like, I liked Jacob Elordi, but sometimes I didn't really like him. It was like a sort of a love-hate relationship, but with this film, I really hope he gets nominated for an Oscar because his portrayal of the creature was just beautiful. He was amazing, and I can't really think of Andrew Garfield doing this role. Like, I can't see anyone else besides Jacob Elordi. So yeah, everyone was amazing, but the standout for me was Jacob Elordi, and like all the things when it comes to the like technical stuff, like the sets and the costumes, loved. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. Something completely different is my third place, and that's the film that comes to my mind as soon as I think of like 2025, and it's Companion. Like, I watched Companion in like like end of January, beginning of February, because I watched it twice in the cinema, and like Companion just really, really stuck with me. I love everything about that film. I should have given it a 5 stars, honestly, because I love the acting, I love the cinematography, I love the music, the vibe of it. There's just something about Companion that, although it was pretty obvious what it is about, I loved it, and there were still some twists that I was not expecting. And yeah, I just love Companion. Number 2 is arguably most likely the best film of the year. I mean, I think the best film of the year obviously is my number 1. But I think it's a general consensus that this film is just the biggest standout of the year. And so my number 2 is Sinners. I loved Sinners, and that's another film that I watched like in end of March, beginning of April, like March, April. And like Sinners is another of those ones that it's beautiful visually, has great music, has a really interesting story that I think people shouldn't really know much before going into it, because it's really fun to discover what it is actually about. Great performances, like another of those films that just amazing. And I would say like 90% of the people that watched it loved it. And so my favorite film of the year is Amnet. Like, as soon as I watched Amnet, and technically this film only comes out here in Portugal in February next year, but I was able to watch it at the Lisbon Film Festival, and it's the film that just brought out of me like a huge amount of emotions. It's extremely sad, and I was almost sobbing in the theater, and you could just hear everyone sniffling during the film. It just has like a huge impact on you. The emotional weight of the film is incredible. And although it's extremely sad, it's also like extremely beautiful. The acting is amazing from everyone. The cinematography is so beautiful. The music just heightens everything. And honestly, to me, this is the best film of the year. I doubt this will win the Oscars because it's not the type of film that the Oscars like to win the film. It's definitely gonna win some things, but not best film, unfortunately. But it's such a beautiful film, and if you haven't had the chance to watch it yet, like, once you do, please go watch it. It's amazing, but probably bring tissues because you're gonna need them most likely. And if you don't feel what this film like made me feel, or this film just has to make you feel something, and if you don't, I fear there's something wrong with you. And so guys, these are my favorite films of 2025. I haven't seen everything, but I'm pretty happy with my list. Like, my top 4, as I said, are the films that just stood out the most to me. Like, they are my films this year, like the ones that just are so me. And yeah, I want to know which ones were your favorites, or tell me like your favorite, your top 3. You don't really need to give me like a top, just tell me some of the films that you liked during this year, because I know it's really hard to put them in order. And yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in my next video.